Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my coloring corner. And today you're actually in my kitchen. So today we're actually not going to color. We're going to bake. And what we're baking today is whipped shortbread. And I will go through the ingredients I have here in front of you. This is 2.5 cups of regular flour. These are candied cherries, the green and the red. We have some rice flour, which is 1/2 cup of rice flour, 1/2 cup of cornstarch, and a cup of powdered sugar. So that is what we have so far today. I know that there's probably not very many people in chat yet, so I will give it a few minutes before I start throwing all these things together and go through the ingredients again once we start getting people in the chat. I hope everybody is doing well today. I can't see the chat, so I have a helper with me today. We have Ellen with us today, so she's going to help me by reading the chat to me and making sure that any of your questions are answered. Hello. She's a little shy. And she doesn't have a mic, so you probably can't hear her very well. I will be running the mix master, so it may get a little noisy. If it does, I will try to mute the mic so that you guys aren't hearing it too badly. Bob is going to be watching the stream and making sure that I'm not killing you all with the sound of my mix master and stuff like that, but he will be in the chat. Yes, Bob is always here. But he doesn't mind, staying out of my way when I'm baking. It's actually preferable. And these cookies are not a diet cookie. Obviously, they do take a pound of butter. So, well, yeah, it's the pound of butter that pretty much kills everyone.
It's fine. It could be bacon grease instead. At least it's butter.
That would be horrible. Can you imagine? Let's make shortbread cookies with bacon grease. Yeah. Ellen said that bacon grease might be a little bit worse, and I think I don't know if shortbread cookies made with bacon grease would be good. So
I don't see a problem with that.
She doesn't see a problem with that.
My dad made bread the other day with bacon grease in it. It's pretty good.
It's actually good.
Yeah, in bread. But bread's not supposed to be sweet. Not that good.
And so how many people do we have in chat now, Ellen?
Where do I see that?
Just two.
I sent Nickel Lane. He's not responding.
And I'm not sure why, but I can hear myself echoing.
Oh, you could probably hear yourself through your stream, right?
No. I think this camera's...
Do you hear it?
Perfect. Perfect on YouTube.
Weird.
Like, I'm hearing what I said 5 seconds ago. So either YouTube is playing somewhere or...
Oh, I got it. There you go.
Okay. He fixed it. Hi, Dan. Salutanos.
Dan says hello, Renee and all. And I am streaming an unbox right now, but hello, love, and thank you for all you and Bob have done for me and my family.
No problem. I'm sorry that I'm streaming at the same time as you. Because I'm going to steal all of the people that would normally watch because I'm making cookies.
Janice wants to know, Shiloh's in your way when baking sometimes, or even the cookie lover is not getting in your way for baking.
Yes, Shilas does have a tendency to try to push me away from the counter if I drop anything.
Candace says, salute. I love that. Always with an E.
I know. I could say bonjour. It's, you know.
Candace says, true, Renee. We are all like Shiloh. We follow Cookie.
That is so true.
Yeah, we do follow Cookie.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure how many more people are going to come in, and they can rewind it and watch over. And Shyla has decided that she wants to talk too, so, and which is normally very strange for her. She's usually laying down, but we have company, so she thinks she gets cookies. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this pound of butter, and we're going to move this stuff around here so you can see. And of course, we're going to throw it in here. And then it's going to get noisy. Because what you need to do with this pound of butter, and I have left it out overnight in the cupboard, so it is at room temperature, is you have to put it in the mix master and let the mix master cream it until it is no longer yellow. So you probably can't see what's going into the bin here, but you will be able to see on the other camera because we have a wonderful camera that looks straight into my mix master. So you'll actually get to watch it cream. All right, so we've got 1 pound of butter in here, and we're not going to put anything else in here yet. We're just going to cream the butter until it's white. I am sorry, Karen. It does seem that Nightbot has a thing about too many letters. So if you put too much emphasis on something or put too many letters on something, Nightbot's going to delete it and call it spam. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to cream this now. Hopefully that camera can see into the bowl. Okay. And we're going to start it off nice and slow so that it breaks it down a little bit. And once it's broken down a little bit where it's no longer chunk form, we'll turn it up a little bit so that we can get that creaming to a white consistency.
Karen says, that's cool. Nightbot hates me on a good day.
Well, Karen, Nightbot hates me too, but unfortunately we need the Nightbot because he does keep horrible people from leaving nasty things in my YouTube chat.
Candace says, hey Nightbot, how's it going today?
Yes. Okay, so it's no longer in chunk form now, so we're going to turn this up to 6, which is a little bit louder.
Mad Monkey Mate says, horrible people, who, me?
Monkey, you don't leave horrible messages like where to find child porn in my YouTube chat. So.
Oh yes, I totally understand.
So hopefully that's not too loud for you all. I'm trying to stand as far away from it as I can. Now, as you can see, that butter is starting to go a little bit whiter. And when it's a really creamy white color, then we'll be adding the powdered sugar. Okay, good. I'm glad that you can't even hear it. That's great. Oh, Shyla has decided to say hello to everyone very loudly. Okay, so as you can see, it's starting to pull away from the edges of the bowl and starting to spread out a little bit more. And that's pretty close to almost the consistency we want. This does take a little while to do this. It usually takes about 3 or 4 minutes of constant beating. I'm going to turn that up now to full mix speed, which is 10. And we're going to whip that butter. And I'm going to move away from it so you guys can't hear it as bad. And the dog is going to walk around just so that you guys can see some movement. Okay, so as you can see, the yellow is almost gone out of that butter. And it's starting to spread even softer. So you're starting to see more of a whip. Now I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to drop the bowl down here. And we're going to add the powdered sugar. This is a cup of powdered sugar. And then we're going to put that bowl back up, and we're just going to turn it on really slow so you don't get the poof of powdered sugar everywhere. And then as the powdered sugar is incorporated, I will start adding, or well, we'll go through and we'll sift the dry ingredients. I'm going to scrape the bowl here for a minute to make sure that we get all of that butter and sugar incorporated together. All right. And then we're going to turn that up. And we're going to put that on full whip. This will go until it's pure white. The yellow will be completely gone out of this mixture before we add the flours. Thank you, Thanis. That was Bob who set it all up for me. So I appreciate what he does. Absolutely. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually switch over to the other camera here. And we're going to take half a cup of rice flour. Now this is Clubhouse rice flour. Clubhouse rice flour is a Canadian rice flour, and it is finer than American rice flour. So if you are going to use American rice flour, like Bob's Red Mill and stuff like that, make sure that you grind it again. Put it through your food processor and grind it again. Because unfortunately, American rice flour is not as fine as Canadian rice flour. Now that was a half a cup of cornstarch that I just put in. And this is 2.5 cups of flour.
Karen says her kids have a right to watch.
Huh?
Karen says her kids have a right to watch.
So we're just sifting all of these all of the dry ingredients through a really fine sieve, just to make sure that there's no clumps or anything like that. Because the cookie press that we have to put this through needs it to be a very, very soft dough. So there are our dry ingredients. I'm actually going to take a spatula and just fold them all together. You can do this with a whisk as well, and it will help maintain that air that you have put in it from sifting it. Now this should be about ready now. As you can see, I'll drop this down so you can see a little bit better. But as you can see, it's very white. It's not a lot of yellow left in it. And we're going to take this dry mixture and we're just going to put a third of it in. And we're going to scrape down those walls again, just to get that sugar and butter off the wall so that it mixes into the dry ingredients. This is usually done, this type of cookie is usually mixed at a very high speed to put as much air into it as possible. So that's why I do it at max speed. I just want to make sure that you guys don't get a puff of flour in your face. So I'm just going to turn that up now. Still getting puffs of flour, so. Okay. So that first batch is all incorporated. Now we're going to add the next little bit. We're going to scrape the walls. And then we're going to add a little bit more of the flour mixture. Make sure we get all the cookie dough off of the spatula, because you can't leave any on the spatula. Now we've got this one here to do, and then one more. So we'll bring that back up. And I'll do it slow so you don't get a puff or a poof or whatever. And then we gotta get the air into it. Now we're going to put the last bit in. We're going to scrape these down because there's a bit of butter stuck on them.
Erin says, I'm sure that spatula will be well cleaned and not by washing.
Well, yeah, I've got kids. And it is Ellen's favorite cookie, so.
It is. It's the best cookie.
So we're putting the last bit of the flour in. And we're just going to let that run for a few minutes. While running, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab just a little bit of butter. And normally I keep the wrappers out for this, and I've completely forgotten, threw them away. So I'm going to take a brick of butter and I'm going to put it on a plate. because I just need the wrapper. And I'm going to butter this pan a little bit just to make sure that none of the cookies stick to it. You don't need a lot, especially on this type of pan. But I just like to put down enough of it so that the bottom's brown just a little bit, but don't stick. Now I could do this with a silicone mat. I could put a silicone mat in it. However, I have found with these cookies that the silicone mat keeps them browning. Okay, so this is done. We're going to take this off of the mix master. And we're going to switch over to this other camera here and other counter. And we're just going to make sure that we get all the dough off of the beater. Because, yeah, well, you can't leave any of it in there. Take that over to the sink. No, I didn't throw it in the sink. I put it in a bowl, and one of the kids will probably lick it clean in a bit. If they get to it before Ellen does. Which isn't quite possible since they're both in their rooms and Ellen's right here. So I don't know if all of you or any of you has ever seen a cookie press. A cookie press is this little gizmo. You put this on, you press down the lever, it drops a cookie. And that's what we're going to use to drop these cookies. You can do this without a cookie press. However, I find that the cookies end up being too thick and take longer to bake, and they don't dissolve as well. The best thing about this cookie is it melts in your mouth. So, move this out of the way and I'll show you how I fill this.
So light.
Yeah. So as you can see, the dough is thick enough that it stays on the spoon, but when it's pressed, all that air stays in it. So it doesn't flatten like a cookie does. I'm just going to put this in here. And this is where it starts getting messy. And just pound it down until it fills the cookie press. Once the cookie press is filled, make sure that your press is threads are not covered in cookie dough, of course. And then you put the top on.
Fred says, "Oh, no painting today."
Nope, no painting today, Fred. I'm making cookies. I only paint on Wednesdays.
Karen says she's resisting the urge to upset Nightbot.
Okay, so when you put the top on the cookie press, you will have to do that over top of your bowl because it will push that cookie dough out. So make sure you do that over top of your bowl. Now I'm going to wash my hands because I've got them covered and stuff, which normally isn't a problem, but this is gluten flour and I can't eat it anymore. So it has become a problem. All right. So hopefully they have the camera positioned that you can see on the pan. And what you do is you just take your press and you press it down. The first couple of them I have pressed a couple times just to get the air bubbles out. But give it a couple of seconds after you press so that it has time to attach to the pan. Otherwise, you end up doing what I just did.
Karen thinks your cookies are adorable.
Thank you. Now, I have preheated the oven to 325 degrees. And we are going to put cherries on these cookies for decoration. Not only for decoration, but to actually hold the edges of the cookie together. The cherries are candied, so when they bake, that candy solidifies a little bit. And because these are really, really light cookies and the press has separations, sometimes they will have a tendency to fall apart if you don't put cherries on them. And I am at the end. So when you get to the end, you just push the button, pull it back, and put more in.
Real quick while you reload.
Mm-hmm.
These are washed out a bit on the screen, so let's do this. Does that show up better?
The bottom half is.
Maybe turn off the light.
I don't know which one I'm selecting for that.
They're adjusting lightings so you guys can see better.
There we go.
Because the light is reflecting off the pan and so you guys can't see the cookies.
Shades. And off the lights. I feel like if we just close the shades and left the lights on, that would probably do it because it's like a glare coming in from the window.
They believe it may be a glare from the window.
Maybe. Looks like it helps a little bit.
So Fred says he just used Bruce's slicer and tell it to fill the build plate.
I don't know if that would work really well, Fred, with the cookie dough. It's a little bit softer than that. But it's pretty much the same thing. It's an extruder. So make sure that when you put the top on, that you put it over top of your bowl so that that happens over your bowl. All right. Now I'm going to hand this one off to my little helper, and she's going to put the cherries on it for me. And I'm going to fill this other pan. And after we get these in the oven, it'll take about 10 minutes for them to bake. So we'll have some downtime where we're going to be chatting. So if you have any questions, definitely I will be able to answer them as soon as we get these in the oven. Okay, so just filling this up again, because that's what we do all day long. This recipe does make approximately 100 of these little cookies. usually I make it 3 different times, but this year I'm only going to do it twice. Once for gluten, once for gluten-free. And that's just so I can eat them. So the reason why I'm tapping it, of course, is to get it to the bottom without putting too much pressure on it. So I'm not pushing all that air out of it. So it stays nice and light and airy. And we're going to put this back on, put it over top. Of course, I'm missing the mark here with the screw threads, which is fun. There we go. All right. And then back to putting them on the sheet. Can you tell Ellen has done this before?
Sharon says that the cherries look lovely. She's never seen green cherries before.
Yeah, you can get green candy cherries as well as the red candy cherries. So
Only this time of year.
yeah, only at Christmas. I think throughout the rest of the year, I think you can only usually find the red cherries.
Where'd you end up finding the red cherries? Because I looked and I couldn't find them anywhere.
Winco, I do believe, is where we got the red cherries. Okay, so for some reason, this is being a pain. That happens sometimes. I think there's an air bubble in it. I'll give it a couple of, yeah, there was an air bubble.
Yeah, I just searched online and found colored candy cherries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they come out with them pretty much in all sorts of colors, especially for fruitcake. Okay, so I'm going to hand this back over to Ellen, and she's going to put the cherries on this one, and I'm going to put this one in the oven. And I'll put that in there for now so that we can use it later. Now there's still enough in here to at least fill the big pan over again. So there's plenty of cookie dough left. I'll wipe everything down. And I'll show you them when they come out of the oven, how they look. It does take approximately 10 to 15 minutes in the oven at a 325 oven. So if you have any questions or want to know a little bit more about what I used or didn't catch what was going into the bowl or anything like that, let me know. I will be happy to go over it. The cherries I have taken and cut into quarters. So they are cut in half and then cut in half again, just to make sure they're the right size for these cookies, because these cookies are fairly small. They're a very dainty cookie.
375, assume it's not Celsius?
No, 325 Fahrenheit.
That would be some intense cookie baking.
You put them at 375, they're going to be burnt pretty quick. And burnt shortbread is not nice. 195C for Celsius for the rest of the world.
Sharon says the rice flour sounds interesting. Don't think we use that much over here.
Yeah, rice flour is a staple for a lot of people that are gluten-free. We use it in Canada, like I said, for shortbread and stuff like that. The rice flour that I have is from Canada, so it is an ultra fine grind. So if you use the stuff here in the US, like Bob's Red Mill and that sort of thing, I very, very suggest that you put it through your food processor and regrind it. No, hold on a sec, I'll show you what it looks like. Oh, okay. You guys in the UK probably can get well, Clubhouse is a Canadian brand, but it is developed in Ontario, I do believe. But this is what the package looks like. Maybe.
Perfect.
And that's just the gluten-free Clubhouse rice flour. And it used to come in a lovely little box that used to have recipes all over the box. It doesn't come in that box no more. Let's see. I have, oops, sorry guys. Hit the other camera. That one's ready to go? Okay. So this is going in the oven, and Ellen's going to eat the cherries. So that has to go in for 15 minutes. The first batch will be out in about 12. But this is what it used to look like, and I've cut the recipe off of one of the recipes off of it. But it used to come in a box like this, and it used to have all different recipes on the inside as well as the outside. Oh, okay. That's interesting, Karen. Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't have it in the grocery stores. But every country is different, so. And on the Clubhouse rice flour on the boxes, I'm just looking on here to see. Okay, so on this package, it has gluten-free classic shortbread, which is the rolled shortbread, and it has xanthan gum in it. So, but the classic shortbread is pressed shortbread for, say, a shortbread press. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's usually a terracotta disc. You press the shortbread into it and bake it in the terracotta disc, and then flip it over, and it has the ornamentation of the terracotta on it. I can't think of the name of it. I think it's just a shortbread press. It's not a pressed cookie like these are, an extruded cookie. All right, just going to take a look at these. And they've got a couple more minutes to go. Grab my handy dandy cookie lift. And I've got my cooling rack set up over on the other counter. So we'll be shuttling over there with the cookies after they come out of the oven. But I'll put them up here so you guys can see them first.
Karen says, I have xanthan gum. I got it for making low carb bread during a diet. Also health food store items.
Yeah. Yeah, xanthan gum, up until about a year ago, year and a half ago, you couldn't find it in the grocery stores. You did have to go to health food stores, Whole Foods, things like that. Now, what you're going to look for if you're not putting the timer on, because I didn't put the timer on because I've got two different sheets going in at different times, is just a slight browning around the edges of the bottom of the cookie. Don't brown the entire cookie. That is going to burn it. So make sure that you don't brown the entire cookie. With these cookies, they're very pale. when they're completely cooked. So oh no, I'm out of coffee. You're all in trouble now. I gotta make more coffee. Pardon? Thank you.
I'm late, sorry.
Hi, Barb. You missed it. You're gonna have to rewind and watch it over again. I tried waiting for everybody, but all right. So I'm just gonna take a look at these. Okay, I'm gonna wait for my glasses to stop being fogged up now. All right, just a couple minutes more on those ones, I think. Shyla, switch it over to that camera. Now, for everybody that has been bothering me that they want to see my dog, there she is. That's my puppy. Aren't you? You're my puppy girl. Yes. So Shyla has finally made an appearance on one of my streams. Probably the last one she'll make an appearance on, but she has made her appearance. What you doing? No, you don't get to have butter. No butter for you. I can switch it back. All right, everybody. We're going to take these out of the oven. They smell like they're pretty close to being done. A little bit longer. I'm going to actually turn them. Now, I do have a convection oven, so I don't normally need to turn them. But I find every once in a while, especially using these big pans, that the back of them seems to cook a little bit quicker than the front. Did you hear him? Did you hear Fred say that? I don't have any. You can't have people cookies. No, someone thinks that Mommy has cookies. And I don't have any cookies for you. Daddy has all the cookies. Go see Daddy. She knows exactly what I said, too. It's funny. It's like, wait a minute. Daddy's got all the cookies. Okay, bye.
So long. I'm jealous.
Oh, yeah. It just grows and grows and grows. I cut it off at the start of the pandemic by myself. I had my son put it up in a ponytail and just chopped it off. Hmm?
Oh my.
Yeah. He was not happy about doing so.
Fred says in quotes, "Where's my biscuits?" Like Shyla.
Well, Fred, sending you biscuits might be a difficulty going from here all the way to Europe. These would become crumbs before they got there. Oh, you don't want dog biscuits, dude. Oh, where's Shyla's biscuits? Well, Daddy has all that. Daddy has all Shyla's biscuits. I only have turkey jerky for her.
Cara says she's multitasking. She's watching the Amazon show.
Oh, well. Okay, so these just need a little tiny bit longer. And that's the thing with doing these types of cookies too, is sometimes it says 15 minutes and it means 20. You know, it all depends upon the the oven and the temperature in the house and everything else. So the temperature of the dough, how thick the dough is.
So Fred says, my wife doesn't let me go in the kitchen. She says I always mess everything up.
Smart wife. My husband's not allowed in my kitchen either. So I prefer not to allow any male individuals in my kitchen. Unfortunately, I live in a house full of male individuals. Yes, me and Charlotte are the only two. Well, me, Charlotte, and Shyla and Wilmer are the only 3 females in the house. Okay. I have my own kitchen to mess up. We'll send Fred over to mess in your kitchen, Barb. Yeah, I moved out of his dungeon so that you guys could have them all to yourselves.
We are well behaved, and as such, we stay in our 3D printing space until we're told to come out.
Exactly. Yes. All right. So I'm going to take a look at the bottom of these and make sure that they're done. Yeah, I just want to I want to show them the bottom of these. So I'm gonna actually sacrifice one for y'all. Now it's very hot, so that's why I've got my glove on. But if you look at the bottom, it's just starting to go brown. Now it can go a little bit browner than that, but it's just starting to go brown. If you want them a little bit browner than that, of course, put them back in.
Just a touch of color over what the top looks like.
Yeah. And there's the top. Now the cookie itself, when you break it, will just disappear. It'll just melt. And we're going to give this one to Ellen because
I've waited all year.
she has waited all year for them. So I'm just going to check one more in the center and make sure that they're the right color all the way through. I think I'm going to put them back in just for a few minutes because in the center area here are a little bit too blonde. Were they cooked?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Really good.
So they are baked all the way through, but the center cookies were a little bit blonder than I like them to be. Now, another thing I considered doing while we were waiting here was possibly making quick and easy fudge. What do you guys think? Should we make quick and easy fudge? So after I set this next set of cookies in the oven, I will, while I'm still waiting for those, I'll grab the ingredients to make quick and easy fudge.
Karen enthusiastically suggested fudge.
Now, this is quick and easy fudge. It's not made the old-fashioned way of waiting and waiting and waiting for it to cook. Just so you know, this will take quite literally moments to cook. So I'm just going to grab the ingredients to do so. Now I'm going to, this one is going to be sweet with coconut sugar. So I'm just grabbing the ingredients that I need. chocolate chips I'm going to use are sweetened by stevia. The condensed milk is actually a condensed coconut milk and is sweetened.
Sorry about the buzzing. You were too far away.
Oh, sorry. So sorry. I was a little bit too far away from the computer, so it didn't pick up what I was saying, and it was buzzing. So the ingredients I'm going to use is a sugar-free stevia sweetened chocolate chips, a coconut sugar sweetened condensed coconut milk, and vanilla. And those are the only 3 ingredients you need for this. But I'm going to take these cookies out now. Yes. Now this is fudge that I can eat because I'm not allowed to have actual sugar because it interferes with my intestinal structures. So I'm just going to take a quick peek at these, make sure that they're browned. And I think they're pretty good. So I'm just going to scooch that over here, out of the way. And we'll turn the camera so you can see, turn the other camera afterwards when I'm doing the fudge so that you can see in the pot as I'm cooking it. And like I said, these are very, very delicate little cookies. So they do instantly melt in your mouth when you eat them. See, if you can see the color on that, that's the color you want.
One of Karen's kids, Ryan, is about to crawl into the laptop to try his cookies.
Well, Ryan, I'm a little bit far away for that to work, but and we have another casualty. So Ellen gets the casualties.
Yay! I don't know why I didn't eat breakfast.
Ellen says, "Yay! I'm glad I didn't eat breakfast." Okay. All right, just can get a couple more on here, but I don't want you to, end up spilling it along the way either. So,
That would be a bad day.
yeah, it's happened before. It is more than once that has happened. So Ellen's going to switch those trays out for me so that I can put more down. And then I'm going to check on the other tray and see if it's ready to be pulled out. And then we will get to putting more down, and then we'll start on the fudge. Now, I'll show you the difference between an almost burnt cookie and a cookie that is perfectly done. The upper oven obviously gets hotter than my lower oven. So these are almost burnt. They are way too dark, and they may end up having a bitter taste if they are too dark. So I'm going to flip one over, and I'm going to make sure, see, the back is just a dark brown. So they're not quite burnt, but they may end up being a little bit bitter.
Barb says, I'm lazy, no cookie baking. We had a cookie walk, huge at my local grocery. Samples of at least 35 kinds, front row. Would point 6 of these, 6 of that, and they'd pack boxes.
Oh, very cool. I'm not too worried about it, Ellen. I think these ones are pretty much going to end up going to The cast iron stomach I call my 18-year-old. Yeah, they're not too bad. They're a little bit darker than they should be. Some of them are fine, like this one here is fine. It's not so dark. But some of them are a little bit too dark.
Just a little browner, still nummy.
Yes, they are still nummy. And I have fed them to people. Yeah, Ellen says I eat them. Try one, Ellen, and see if they're bitter. Yeah. Try one that's been on the rack a little while. Are they a little bitter? No? Okay. So now we're just going to fill up this pan again. Oop. Shyla. Shyla gets a cookie. Shyla likes it when she gets a cookie. You didn't eat the cookie? Is it too hot? It's okay. You can have the cookie. She was just checking to make sure she was allowed to have it. Yeah, there's always one or two casualties. That's why she sticks around the kitchen when I'm cooking, for those casualties.
Never too far.
Okay, so I'm just going to fill this up again. And hopefully Shelly doesn't knock the camera over for you, looking for more cookies. Not like any of you would fault her for it, because she's just too darn cute anyway, so. All right, so we've got that filled up. Just going to tap it down.
Well, Coffee just showed up and says he's a bad man.
What did you do, Chris? Oh dear. We'll talk about it later. All right, so I'm just going to get it going there. Ellen, can you do me a favor and get me my coffee off the coffee maker? I have a tendency to make coffee and then just put a lid on it, please. And then leave it on the coffee maker. Just over here is fine. Oh. And then by the time I remember it, it's ice cold. And I don't like cold coffee.
Just throw some ice in and then it's fancy.
No, don't like iced coffee either.
You have to assert dominance over winter.
Yeah, exactly. Well, winter is my friend. I just don't like my coffee cold.
So Christine said he was bad. Karen said, you are sick of my body.
Then asks what?
Chris is going to get a cookie.
I don't know. He might. I think that one of the burnt ones if he's been bad. I'll have to go down into the basement and give him a smack. The running joke between a couple of the guys from the 3D printing community and my husband. That they all live in my basement. I don't have a basement, just so you know.
Barb says, I just donated to my Christmas coloring book stash.
Cool.
Because Nightbot just called.
All right, so we've got it all put back together here. Everything's all ready to go. Get started. I didn't like those ones. Didn't like that one either.
Karen says, we hide in the imaginary basement.
That's where all the 3D nerds are hiding, in my imaginary basement. All right, Ellen's going to put the cherries on those. I'm a little bit concerned whether I want to run this one again, but it burnt them last time. Maybe it's the cookie sheet. Couldn't possibly be anything to do with me. All right. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as you enjoy my coloring streams. I know it's a little bit different. And this is supposed to be a coloring channel, but I got baking to do. I am. Yeah, I have that problem too, Karen. And I'm only a little bit of a perfectionist, Barb. All right, we're going to put the last of this in here. I think we should get maybe one more out of that. Shyla's waiting for more cookies to hit the floor. And I think this time I'm going to actually wait and put both pans in at the same time so that I can monitor them a little bit closer.
This person, SNKY, says, I love how you have a press that punches out perfect cookies.
That's Nick.
That's Nick. Hi, Nick. Doesn't Ellen have one of these? You don't have one?
It is Christmas time.
Nick. Ellen needs one. She doesn't have one, and it is Christmas time. And then I'll give her the recipe, and she can make shortbread cookies all year long.
Barb says, I'm somewhat of a perfectionist in a lot of ways. Shy of being OCD, the only difference at my age is now is accepting everything can't be perfect.
Yeah. I let things not be perfect to a certain extent. And I have learned with cookies that if you don't get them pretty much close to the same shape or depth, they're going to burn.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a little bit OCD with cookies, especially these ones. It is a family tradition. It has this recipe has been going down in my family for, I'm the third or fourth generation. I think it's the fourth generation. It was my great grandmother's recipe on my dad's side. All right, I'm going to help Ellen with the cherries.
Chris says he's having salad and bagels and he wants cookies now.
Well, Chris, come upstairs. All right. So I'll put on the red ones. You can put on the green ones. All right, so we're almost all done here. And then I'll make fudge.
And Barb says, ooh, bagels, miss those.
Yeah, I didn't make bagels. Oops, that's the wrong one. Sorry. I'm putting red on.
Dare you?
I'm putting red on green. Making them all messed up now.
Shame.
Shame. Oh dear.
No, that's not too.
It's just a big one.
Save that for a bigger cookie.
Some of them are a little chunky. All right. Got that one?
One more.
Quick. Making her rush here. So I'm going to put them in at the exact same time and put a 15-minute timer. And then I'm going to start on this fudge. So we're going to hopefully point this in the right direction. And we're going to take a pot. No, it's fine because I've still got a bit more cookie. Yeah. So can you see into the pot? Okay. All right, so we have this pot and we have this stuff. It is sweetened condensed coconut milk. I have not made this before with these ingredients. I have made the fudge before. However, I've not made it with these ingredients. What did I do with them? There they are. So I cannot guarantee how this will turn out. However, if you do make this with just regular condensed milk, chocolate chips, and vanilla, you will get a good fudge. That's very simple, very quick, very easy. Ellen, can you grab me that measuring cup? I need a 1 cup measure, please. The big one at the bottom. Over there?
Oh, in here?
No, right there. I thought you would.
And I couldn't see it. I don't know.
I thought you were a ginger, not a blonde.
In all fairness, you did point towards the thing.
Yes, I did. I say that because, yeah, my mom's blonde. So we heat up the coconut milk and 3 cups of chocolate chips. So I think there's just enough in these 2 bags to make 3 cups. So I'm just going to dump it all in there because that's pretty close to 3 cups altogether. And this one, for some reason, is melted. Oh, I had it on the back of the stove. Okay. The vents for the back of, for my oven are in the back of my stove. So the chocolate got pre-melted a little bit. Let's check the other one. No, it's fine. And then when you turn this down to low, medium low, and you just stir it until the chocolate chips melt. And Ellen, in that cupboard down there is some glass baking sheets, not sheets, but glass baking pans. Can you find the smallest one in there and get it out for me? Yeah, a little, either a small rectangular or a small square. Yeah, that should be good. And put some butter in it. All right. Now I'm going to grab me, I need a wooden spoon. Paper towel is here, or you can use some parchment paper out of that top drawer. This spatula is getting too soft. A rubber spatula, when you heat it up, will soften, and it's not stirring as well as it should be. So I'm going to switch to a wooden spoon because you have to keep it moving. And this is the most labor intensive that it'll get. Now that everything is melted in there, take it off the heat. Need the key. So I'm going to shut the heat off, but I'm still going to leave it where it's warm because I need to put the vanilla in. So it's 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And you stir it in and make sure that you keep it going. It'll get this glossy melted chocolate look, just like that. Whew, that's work. All right, now we're going to come over to the other side here, and we're going to pour it into this pan that Ellen has buttered for us. I'm just going to take this spatula and get all of the drippings out of there. Oh, wore myself out there. I'm breathing hard. All right. So if you can put that in the sink for me, please. You think this was hard? You should see me make peanut brittle. All right. Oh, sorry. Did I move that up on y'all? Thank you, hon. My husband just came over and corrected my mic for you. It's very goopy. There we go. And put that in the sink or lick it like a lollipop. I don't care. Now I'm just going to move it around. And that is it. It's all done. And that is quick and easy fudge. And I've dripped little bits of it everywhere. It's a good thing it's sugar-free so I can eat it. It's actually really good. That's the first time I've used that coconut milk because I hadn't found it before. So that was a good find. And I dropped a chocolate chip on the floor, and we better pick that up before the dog decides to. She won't eat it. She'll just snarl at it. My dog is weird. All right, I'm going to check these cookies. Pardon? I could. I don't think that people get very satisfied with them. And they've got a few minutes left to go. So I hope you all found that entertaining. Now we've made cookies and fudge. That was quick, wasn't it? It was so quick, the cookies still have 6 minutes on them. And that's how I make quick and easy fudge. Now with the fudge, you can either leave it out or you can refrigerate it. It will solidify quicker if you refrigerate it. So I'm going to put this in the fridge. And what I do normally is I will stick it in the fridge until it's solid. Then I'll cut it, wrap it in saranwrap or parchment paper, and then put it in the freezer so it stays solid longer, and also so the kids don't eat it all. All right, so we're just going to take a look at these again. I don't want those top ones to burn this time. Yeah. That's fine. So those ones are good. So you can see the brown. So if you can grab me a rack. Ellen is going to grab me a rack, and I'm going to unload this batch of cookies. We've got the cupcake holders there. And it doesn't matter. It's 3 to a cupcake holder. And if one of the taller people in my household can grab a step stool or a ladder and get one of those cookie tins down for you, that'd be great. Now Ellen's going to package up some of these that have cooled off so that I have more room for the next ones. Now I'm going to turn this off because it's irritating me. Over here in the knife rack, she wanted to know where the scissors were. All right. So I hope you all have had fun watching me bake cookies and make fudge. It's not as entertaining as maybe watching me color. It's definitely more messy. and a little bit sweeter. I think I've got one more batch of cookies left to go in the bowl. And then I think we're going to be all done for the day. I think we've made a good chunk of the cookies.
Barb says, oh my God, Central Ohio, mid-December, big severe thunderstorm.
Well, it's better thunderstorm warnings than severe snow warnings. I'd rather have the thunder than the snow. Okay, so I'm going to move this one so I can put the other one over here. Now, I put these on for 15 minutes. They were done in 13. So that's why those other ones burnt a little bit more. All right, could you go in the drawer and get me another rack? I have lots of cookie racks everywhere, so my husband is going to get me another rack. And cookies are done. All right, thank you very much. I'm going to put these here. Thank you. This recipe does make quite a few of these pressed cookies. Like I said, you could do this with a spoon and you will get not nearly as many cookies out of it. And they will not be as melt in your mouth type of cookies. They will be a little bit more firm. They will take longer to bake because they will be thicker. So make sure you keep an eye on them. If you do decide to do them with a spoon, for the doneness, if you let them go too brown on the bottom, they may not be cooked all the way through. So make sure you have at least one on your sheet that you're calling a test cookie. Try to make it in the center of your sheet so that you can test it when you think they're done and judge whether or not to put them back in or not. And I really should have started further away from myself and moved towards myself instead of moving further away from myself. But live and learn. All right. Now I think I'm just going to use the other sheet because there's not a whole lot left in there, and using this big sheet would kind of be a waste. So, yep. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Now, of course, I hope that those of you who are going to join me tomorrow during our Christmas bash has emailed me on the YouTube channel's email address for your bingo card. If you have not already emailed me for your bingo card, you will not be allowed to participate in the grand prize game. So if you want to join us for the grand prize game, make sure that you send me that email before we start the stream tomorrow. That stream will be at 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So I think that's 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern, and I'm not sure about European. And European really doesn't make a lot of difference right now because due to shipping restrictions and whatnot, unfortunately, I cannot open that contest to Europeans at this time. So I'd be happy for you to be there, but unfortunately, I can't enter you in the contest anyway. So until some of these shipping restrictions and everything else go down, which kind of sucks, but I sent a coloring book to somebody in Norway and they still haven't received it yet. And I sent that in June. So if you won one of the prizes, you might be able to get it before next Christmas. All right, so this is empty. If you can put that in the sink for me, please. Now, when you have a small amount left like this, make sure that you try to push all the air out before you start bringing that cookie press down. Otherwise, you're going to end up with excess that isn't going to make it on the sheet, because I'm not going to put a cookie and a half worth back into the machine once the machine is empty. So the dog gets those ones. I do. I actually put them together and make a little bone for her.
Everybody gets Christmas cookies.
Yep, usually. Except me.
You get Christmas fudge.
Oh, I can make my own. I make them for myself too. And we got a little dog bone there for the dog. And it's not very bone shaped, but I'm not an artist. Not that way anyway. All right, so if we want to put the cherries on those, Ellen, that'd be great. Huh? No, you put the cherries on, then bake them. And we're going to actually turn off this upper because we don't need it on. And that is it. What I normally package them as, I'll show you how I normally package them, is 3 to a cupcake holder, and then they go into the Christmas baskets that I normally make every year. This year I won't be making as many because of COVID, so it is what it is.
We're almost an hour and a half. Do you want to wait till this finishes?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish up these cookies for you. Does anybody have any questions or anything that you want to know about the recipe, about how to bake them, what to watch for, anything like that? How to do the fudge? Sure. Nobody? Okay, well, if nobody has any questions or anything, we'll finish up this batch and we'll stick them in the oven, and I will, of course, go through all of the reminders for the week. If you want to join us over on our Facebook group, we do not have that active now. If you want to join us over there, it is My Coloring Corner on Facebook, and fill out all the application questions and we'll be happy to get you in. Of course, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell and get all the notifications of different videos that are coming up and coming out. Tomorrow will be our Christmas bash, and for our Christmas bash, we will be going for just as long as everybody wants to go. It's a party. So I'm not going to put any sort of time frame on that other than the start time. You know, we are going to play 3 different games. We do have 3 different prize packages, which are fantastic prize packages. And we're going to, of course, do this one up for the dog. So this batch is going in the oven. Like I said before, the finale game is going to require a special card sent to you via the email. So if you want to join us for the finale and be eligible for the grand prize, make sure that you email me for that bingo card. If you don't have one when the stream starts tomorrow, I will not be sending out any after that. So cool. Yeah. I know that it is available in Canada, of course. That's where I got it from. But I don't know if you can email or online order it, or if it's available in Europe. Unfortunately, it is not available on Amazon. Yeah. That's us Canadians. We keep our secret ingredients to ourselves. I was really surprised I couldn't even find it on Amazon.ca. And other than that, I thank you all very much for joining me. I think we're going to call it a day. We are at an hour and a half. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I know it wasn't coloring, but at least, you know, you got to see some cookies being made. Of course, everybody like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Always remember to relax, color, and stay safe. All right, guys. Bye-bye for now.